More hostiles. Legit feels like I'm using a shotgun. And I'm being killed from everywhere. What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video, where we're going to check out a set we've not used in such a long time, but it goes with the current theme of the moment, the Handbasket. So don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. Okay, so as you can probably see already, we are using aces and eights. We haven't used this set in ages. It was always a big favorite of mine back in the day.
Get back! Damn the
There's no way that second shot didn't hit. That's wild.
The first priority is to release the prisoners to keep the True Sons busy.
But we thought, as we're doing a bit of a theme with the Handbasket right now, and checking out kind of, you know, kind of builds it would work with, builds it wouldn't work with. And I kind of wanted to stay away from turmoil. Because, yes, we know turmoil is great with Headhunter determined, but that has kind of been over-published right now, so we're not running that.
Find it and patch Isaac in. Okay,
but I'm going to do the next couple of rooms, just see where we get some elites, to make sure that we can take down elites as well. With no questions asked. And for a change, I'm not running Lincoln Memorial, because I feel like I overused that, and it's very easy because of how clustered they are, right? So it kind of doesn't always give a good impression of the build. I feel like he was asleep. Why didn't he even try and shoot me?
The main holding area is downstairs. Get moving.
I always kind of like the randomness to aces. I feel like if they introduced the set where you could get really high damage, but then also take damage, perhaps, that was random, would be kind of cool. So yeah, no problem with the elite. This is kind of nice. There's another elite here for us to test on. Yep. Show yourself, sir. He just ran into the fire. That's clever. Gotta love aces. When you hear the aces noise, it's like boom. Nice misses. We're constantly smacking almost 25 mil constantly. Yeah, really nice. And just works really well, right? And I guess that, yes, there is an inconsistency to the damage, but there's also the opportunity to do big damage. And let's face it, you know, Headhunter determined does a really good job of making things just that little bit easier. You don't have to use the Handbasket. You could perhaps use the SR1. You know, that's very popular right now. That would be totally up to you which you want to use with it. If we scroll down here, the M700 Carbon as well. These both would be, you know, excellent marksman rifles to use with this. But you do have the slight advantage with this build, in that actually you could use the 1886, because not too long ago they added rifle damage and the ability to use aces with rifles. So just for the next section, let's flip to an 1886, and I'll just do the next set of enemies with the 1886 to show you that this works with this as well. And then we'll go over the build in detail, because people might be like, you know what, I don't want to use the Handbasket, it's trash, I don't like it, and that's fair. That's up to them what they want to use. But then this gives a whole lot of variety to what you can actually use this with. So as you can see, we are hitting for less, but not by much at all.
Reinforcements incoming.
But again, you know, solid damage. Only 8 bullets in the mag, but a slightly bit of a easier play style, I guess.
Let's put him down. Try and stop me.
Hoping we get an elite here. Well, we already know we're going to be able to kill him with the damage that we're doing. Their last friend, an armored man. Those two. Man, I'm not going to tell you that's annoying, but that is annoying. Now, that is the slightly less issue. In that I think that with the SVD, I probably would have tapped him and got straight back and not had to double shot him. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is a little bit. So yeah, so you got both the options there as well. But let's say that 1.1. Yeah, so there's very little damage. Very little damage. Fire faster with the 1886, but again, like I said, I like the Handbasket because it's got 15 in the mag. You know, that's really what I like about the Handbasket. You know, the SR1 has 10 in the mag, which again is nice. We'll do a little bit more damage. But then this is my kind of go-to, my preferred one, just from feel and use as well. You know, it's a slightly more damage, but it hits it kind of, you know, slightly slower RPM, but 12 in the mag. Anyway, we've chatted enough. So get yourself the TAC 50. Make sure you select whichever weapon damage in there that you're going to use. Get yourself a chain killer with headshot damage on at least. Weapon handling is a bonus, but you could go with critical hit chance if you wanted to as well. I don't feel like your critical hit damage would be high enough for this to make any difference. I feel like you get more value from weapon handling, especially if you're using the 1886 and you have to reload. But that is totally up to you and your playstyle. Headshot damage with the mod. Perfect Headhunter, giving us more damage if we are over 150% headshot damage. And then with the backpack, obviously you would change this backpack if you were going to use the 1886. It wouldn't make much sense to use the Araldi. So as you can see here, this one's marksman rifle damage at 10%. Weapon damage or weapon handling, headshot damage and headshot damage. Vigilance giving us 25% headshot damage. So what I was thinking about is, I was trying to get my next sentence out, is that I would use the Providence backpack if you were going to use the 1886. It gives you 13% headshot damage, weapon damage, headshot damage, weapon handling, headshot damage in the mod slot with perfect vigilance. Perfect vigilance and regular vigilance give the same damage bonus. There's just a difference of 2 seconds between the buff being disabled. And then you're going to use aces everywhere else. So there is a benefit to using the aces chest. It gives you 20% extra amp damage, but it does take away chain killer, which I think the chain killer is just too much damage, right? The headhunter is just too much damage to take away. So although the aces chest is good, I wouldn't risk losing the headhunter. So aces and eights gives us 15% marksman rifle damage, 30% headshot damage, and then it plays a game of cards with every shot that you play. So after 5 cards are flipped, the damage of your next shot is amplified by 30%. More shots are enhanced, the better the hand. And as you can see here, 4 of a kind gives you 4 shots, full house gives you 3, aces and eights gives you 2. Flip an additional card on headshots. Well, we're always hitting headshots because of how determined works. So essentially it makes, you know, gives a little bit of advantage to aces. So weapon damage and headshot damage everywhere across the board on this. And then if we take a look at our stats, you can see we're at 276% headshot damage. because the mods I'm running is a headshot damage here because I don't want to be scoping in. And then I've got stability on both of these, which is what's making it blip down a little bit. You could go accuracy as well if you wanted to, but I just kind of I felt like this is a really good kind of setup for me, because the SVDs can be pretty unstable, pretty unstable, I guess. But with this setup, they're not. If anything, it's probably one of the most stable guns that I've ever used. So just find yourself one with damage target or cover white still available with the loot goblin. Chances are the one you got delivered in your box is terrible. And the upgrade cost will be absolutely insane. Anyway, that's going to be it for the video. Let me know what you think as always in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.